have you all, sure you have by now, heard about the massive outbreak of measles? Disneyland, yeah. Top doctor, source of measles spreading rapidly in Southern California is likely to be ... What do you think the source is? Well, you know, we'd eliminate. We've all but eliminated measles in this country, and we've had measles for the most part eliminated for decades, right? I mean, how many cases of measles are there? We don't even hear about it much. And all of a sudden there's a plague. And all of a sudden there's an epidemic out there. And it's Dr. Elizabeth Lee Vliet warned about the possibility that the influx of illegal immigrant children would cause a surge in disease in June of last year. And many people are joining her in pointing fingers at the Obama open door, ship us your sick children immigration policy. Future Democrat voters it's the Obama open door, ship us your future Democrat voter children immigration policy. And, you know, this is a tipping point in and of itself. You've got political desire on one hand, and that's the Democrat Party, and maybe hell not the Republicans too, hoping that they have a whole bunch of future voters here. And for the Democrats, a whole bunch of dependent people who are going to be depending on government benefits to survive, which means they're going to need a big government growing to handle all of this. You've got that slamming right into the reality of the health and well-being of children in America. We had effectively eradicated measles, and now all of a sudden, because of Obama's open door policy, we're welcome. And remember when we're coming up on a year now. It was last January when we noticed the jobs posting memo on a government website in which the Obama administration was seeking logistics companies, and the purpose was to transport newly arrived illegal immigrant children to various parts of the country. This was in fact set up a year ago. It wasn't until March that the influx really began to become noticeable. And remember, when that was happening late winter and early spring, if you'll recall, these migrant kids, these minors, were rammed across the border, and they went into holding tanks for a couple of days, and then they were released. And it was impossible that full, detailed health checks were being done. And so now people are logically concluded, well, maybe the influx of measles. I mean, in Southern California, is there really an accident here? And this is why so many people have been demanding we close the border. See, the way the left looks at this, and you may think I'm full of it if you're new to the program and you're still getting up to speed on how things happen here. We are being governed right now by people who believe that America has had an unfair advantage that we didn't earn in the world. We have become a superpower, and all of the great things that go along with that, because we've stolen and we've cheated and we've basically mistreated the poorer people of the world. But they believe that we were founded on an abject lie, that we were founded on the backs of slaves, and we have an original sin that can never, ever be forgiven or absolved. And so they believe that it's not fair, since we are an unjust and illegitimately founded country, it's not fair that we have found ways to eradicate disease in this country when the people around the world haven't. It's not fair that we have. They don't believe that there's anything special about America. They don't believe, they think quite the opposite. So the leftists, there are many of them, and they know they're never going to come in contact with these people, these illegal immigrants, so it's not their problem. But they think it's only fair. And I'm not exaggerating, folks. I'm not trying to make a point. I'm not trying to sound what you might think is outrageous. I really believe if you're going to open the borders and make no effort to stop who comes in, and you're not even going to give the people that come in health checks and determine, I mean, that was the purpose of Ellis Island. People may not know this. Ellis Island in the early 19th century or the 20th century was not to approve this race or that ethnicity, or what it was to determine if people were healthy or not. We were not going to let people immigrate to the country with any kind of a disease that we had eradicated or were in the process of eradicating. That's the whole purpose of Ellis Island. So if a kid tried to get in and had tuberculosis, it was tough toenails. Well, people like Obama and the people in his administration think it's horribly unfair. That's not. So there's none of that happening with this massive illegal immigration taking place now. None of it. But of course, the correct way of thinking about this is you have to safeguard your own people, your own country's people. You have to be concerned with the health and well-being of your own population. But the people that run the country right now, that's offensive to think. We're not that special. Why should we? It's no different than the way they look at Iran's nukes. Well, who are we to tell them they can't have nuclear weapons? We've got them. Who are we to tell them they're not allowed? It's none of our business. Who are we to tell Turkey they can't get nuclear? Who are we to tell them they can't use them? We don't have that right. What gives us the right to tell other people what they can and can't do? What gives us the right, it's not so much the right as the responsibility. It's recognizing bad guys. It's defending liberty. It's defending freedom. And people who want to be free and use liberty all over the world. That's what we've stood for. Not just defending ourselves, but others. And liberating people from all kinds of totalitarianism. That's what we've been about. But you have to believe in some form of American exceptionalism in order to support that, and this bunch doesn't. So, if a bunch of newly arrived, unfortunate immigrant children who want to come to America to improve their lives and escape war and bondage and whatever, why, who are we to say they can't come? And just because they might have measles, well, that's not compassionate. Who are we to say that we ought to, be able to prevent our own people from getting? All they want to do is see Mickey. They just want to come to Disneyland. I mean, why? What's the problem, Mr. Limbaugh? These young kids, all they want to do is go to Disneyland and ride the ride and see Mickey Mouse, right? Yeah. And so any opposition to this based on public health is considered discriminatory and racist and mean-spirited and all of that. Now, here's Fox doing a little feature here on Michael Moore. Michael Moore is a sniper. Michael Moore's been more sniping at people than anybody I can imagine. Telling lies about people, making things up about people. And now Howard Dean's joining Michael Moore in this crusade. Anyway, there's just a boatload, however you want to put it. Illegal aliens are just trampling the border, and who knows what diseases they bring with them. But it's no accident that there's a measles outbreak in Southern California when we'd already gone to great lengths to eradicate it in this country. Take a time out. Be right back.
Yes, the Obama regime.